Welcome back to Cox Connections, a program that provides up-to-date information on events that affect you, our customers. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, also known as STEM, are vital to our future, and therefore STEM education is vital to the future of our children. Technology and engineering teacher Don Williams is here to talk about how Phoebus High School is implementing various educational activities in order to support STEM career pathways for its students. Thank you for being here on the show today.
Well, thank you.
Let's start. What is the mission of STEM Possible, the program that you have, and what's its focus?
We put kids together at both our high school and lower grade levels and outside the high school system together to really get them into these STEM programs. We've had a STEM program going on through Hampton City Schools. We have what's called Project Lead the Way as a pre-engineering program and 2 robotics courses that are all honors level courses, which is not typical at high schools, but these things inspire kids to do it. And we felt that if we can find a way of getting this to the lower kids, lower grade levels and kids outside the traditional path of STEM, that would just inspire them to do this. Yes.
Inspire. Now, for 7 years, you've had the team compete in the first robotics competition. For those of us who are not familiar with this event, tell us a little bit about what it is and how did you get involved and what are the kids experiencing?
It's a program that's basically like the Super Bowl of robotics. There are a lot of robotics programs around, but this one culminates with a competing at a basketball arena or something like that. We go to the VCU arena up in Richmond, and there's 8,000 or 10,000 people there screaming for these kids who, admittedly, and I say this lovingly, they're sort of geeky kids sometimes. They're typical kids, but some of them are a little bit like that, but they're one day going to be the bosses of these technology and engineering adventures. But we start off, we don't know what the problem is. One year, over the years, we've had anything from shooting basketballs, throwing frisbees, putting inner tubes on posts 3, 6, and 9 feet off the ground. And we find out what that is on a Saturday in January. And then we have 6 weeks to design and build a robot, and then we go away and compete. And there's 6 robots on the field at once, 3 for the red team, 3 for the blue team, playing whatever game it is.
I can just see the excitement of any of the children participating in that. Now tell me a little bit about the Phantom Mentalist Team 2028. I see you have a shirt on, but tell us a little bit about it. And I said last year you received the Xerox Creativity Design Award.
This will be our 8th year coming up this season, and we've been around for these years, and it kind of meshes with the classes we have, but it's not in the class. It's an entirely after-school program, and we usually have about 25 to 30 kids involved in the program, boys, girls, anybody who wants to be in it. They're typically in our classes, but they don't have to be.
And this goes on all year round?
Year round. It's not something that just any high school kid can do, so it takes a lot of training. And we also have mentors from the community who are engineers and computer scientists helping to teach our kids how to do this. So we study this thing year round, and then when the problem is revealed to us, we have 6 weeks and 3 days to design and build the robot. It's working literally 7 days a week. From when school gets out, we might be there till 8 or 9 o'clock at night. Not every kid every night, but throughout the course of it, these kids will put in just of their own passion to do this. I have kids who will put in 150 to 200 hours in 6 weeks.
That's incredible.
And these kids go on and we've had two kids get the Gates Millennium Scholarship. One is an electrical engineer student out at Stanford. Another is a girl who is a computer engineering student up at Williams College in Massachusetts.
You mentioned girls.
Mm-hmm.
Talk a little bit about the importance of recruiting girls and minorities into these STEM career paths.
By our involvement with the high school and we're reaching out to Girls Inc., a neighborhood program across the peninsula, we felt like we would be able to have a lot of kids get some exposure to their technology classes through schools, but by way of this thing, we were getting kids at the elementary to middle school in their after-school program getting a little additional time involvement with this. And we use our own high school students as the mentors to these lower age students.
And you were pointing to...
Yeah. This is actually the robot that we have them program through the Girls Inc. outreach program that we do. And this is a Lego robot that you'll see a slide of what the software looks like. And So they learn to program, and in a traditional school, you just don't get enough time to do something like this. So the beauty of this is they get additional exposure to it, and they see their own mentors doing this who are high school students, and our two lead mentors are females who are showing these other younger girls, we know how to do this, you can do it too.
So this is just not something for the guys to do.
No.
But
like I say, the national average for females and minorities in the engineering field is about 15 to 20%. It varies over the years, but we have 25% female and 35% minority in our club, and we strive to get that through our classes.
Now, Phoebus High School was the recipient, and we're glad to be a part of this, but you were a recipient of the Cox Charities grant recently, which went toward initiatives that we talked about earlier. How critical is support from the community, having grants like from Cox Charities? How critical is that for you to do what you're doing every day to impact the lives of these children?
School systems love to have programs like this, but they just can't fund it because it's beyond the reach of the classroom, and it's tough to fund things like this. So because of Cox, we can do this kind of thing. And this program is almost entirely funded in terms of, the school system, we use the equipment and the space and stuff to do this, but it is through like Cox Charities and our other sponsors that enable us to do this. Because this program, our first robotic competition cost about $20,000, and we also used it to purchase these things for the Girls Inc.
We were glad we could help, but it's not just our helping, it's also you and the leadership you're providing for these students. So thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining me on this episode of Cox Connections. As always, I want to personally thank you for choosing Cox Communications for your entertainment, information, and communication needs. We know you could have chosen another provider, but because you chose us, we pledge to be a friend you can trust. We promise to provide you with innovative products backed up by a talented local team of professionals that will help you stretch your dollar. And we promise to continue to make a difference in the Hampton Roads community. From all of your friends and neighbors here at Cox, we thank you again for joining us on this edition of Cox Connections.